Welcome back, everybody. On this podcast episode today, we're going to be discussing 3 years after the pandemic. With me, of course, is going to be my co-host, my sister Yvonne. And with that said, let's go ahead and just do a brief recap of it. So, Yvonne, March 13th, which was Friday the 13th, 2020, was when we first got notice that we were going to be sent home for about a week.
Are you sure it was Friday the 13th?
Yeah, it was Friday the 13th. Pull it up on the records. Yeah. It was March 13th, Friday the 13th, 2020. Basically, they told us, hey, yeah, there's this cough going around. Mm-hmm. It's not a virus, you guys. It's nothing to be alarmed for, but we're just going to be cautious and send everybody home. Because we've seen that since apparently January, February, there's been a rise of cases. And little do we know that it actually had a name already, which was coronavirus. With that said, we were all sent home, told that it was going to be spring break.
Yes.
It was a spring break, so they were going to give us a week off, and then that we would see everybody else back the next week.
Yeah, after spring break.
After spring break. Yeah, so 3 years later, we happened to be, I guess what was there, like 4, 5, 6 variations now later?
Yes, I believe so. I feel like the coolest name that they came up with is the Omicron.
Omicron. It's like the Transformers. Yeah, like the Decepticons. But yeah. No, I mean, we're laughing, but
this is no joke. The pandemic was a very serious virus. I mean,
we know people. It was a global pandemic. I mean, we actually knew a couple people that passed away because of it, sadly. Unfortunately. And then people forget that 3 years ago, when we actually started seeing like the hospitals leak footage of the morgues and how they were getting overwhelmed with the body bags and they were just leaving them, I guess, in the hallway to ready to process.
And that's part of why I wanted to do this podcast, because so earlier last week, there was a story about how I don't know who is checking on, the
World Health Organization.
Yes.
And their big boo-boo.
And they're also checking, I don't know what story came up that they were checking on, was it the morgues places or something like that? Like,
oh, yes. So apparently there's one story that's going around that's saying that there was a morgue that was found that they still had over, I don't know if it was 100 or 1,000 remains. Yes. Cremated and just left there. Like, they didn't even dispose of them or anything.
They didn't properly dispose. That they also had bodies in there. So it's... for some reason, I got like a flashback of that image that they posted. I think it was in New York where there were a couple vans.
Oh, yeah. The trucks... The ice trucks.
Yes.
That they were using to keep the bodies because they couldn't keep up with the demand. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like, that's what I remember. Like, on the serious note of the pandemic, that's what I remember was the bodies and like
and you guys, this was 3 years ago. Like 3 years ago, so much has happened after the pandemic. But it's crazy to think that it's 3 years ago that we were seeing these types of images. People were in hospital beds. Our President Trump at that time was handling the pandemic to the best of his ability.
That's putting it lightly, but yes. I mean, honestly, because I don't know, to this day, if it would have even mattered if we had a different president that handled it. I don't think you can escape death regardless. I know regardless of whatever president was in office, there was going to be casualties. Could it have been handled better? Of course, we can say that now because now we know all the facts. But at the time, you don't know what the facts are.
Exactly.
Although there's a lot of stuff that he said that was taken deliberately from science fiction that unfortunately there was people that didn't realize that it was just him throwing out rambling ideas. And, injecting themselves with Clorox for crying out loud. Oh my God. But so I don't know. I don't know about that. Like, to me, it feels like you weren't going to be able to avoid death regardless during the pandemic. But I think the numbers could have been less.
Yes.
But, you know, that's just me being optimistic. I don't know yet. So...
So eventually we got a vaccine.
Which was released in 2021, right?
I think late 2021.
Or early.
So I think it was mid 2021.
Yeah.
So it was mid 2021 because the following spring we were able to go back to work in person.
Well, I mean, I was still stuck going to work.
Yeah.
But I got the date. Sorry. On January 31st, 2022, the FDA was approved the vaccine. Wait, 2022?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I didn't take... So the vaccine wasn't offered until like mid-June for everyone. Because remember, first it was a category of older people with health problems. And then the following, it was like young people in general.
And it says August 23rd, 2021, the COVID-19 vaccine was approved. And you're right, but it went by batches. So it went by the elderly and then those with predisposed illnesses. And then it was everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't think children were vaccinated yet either.
No, not yet. I think it was until late 2022.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been 3 years.
So my question to you is, what has changed in regards to either work, personal life, or how you view the world?
Okay, so let's move on to this segment that I call 90% of people, for a fact, if there was a zombie apocalypse, are gonna be hiding their bites. That's what I learned from the pandemic. Yes, that's exactly what I learned from the pandemic.
That's what I learned also. I also learned to hoard a bunch of toilet paper because stores were gonna be out. Toilet paper and water. So people, if there's ever a pandemic or a crisis, get water, but most importantly, get toilet paper.
And that's Yvonne's promise. But no, for real though. Definitely the way people behaved during the pandemic. I mean, I know for a fact there was a lot of people that took following protocol very personal. And even to this day, it's like relationships with people.
Yeah, families were strained, torn apart. Because some of the family members wanted to follow protocols, others they didn't. You could see a lot of Reddit posts on the internet that my family was broken due to the pandemic.
And then this is coming off of, it was already in certain situations, it was already a little flimsy because of the whole presidential election. Add that to it, the stress of the pandemic, and that just some families were not. They did not. According to Reddit, they did not speak to their parents now.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, definitely, I think for me that's been the biggest change is that 90% of people hid their COVID. What do you call it? Infections.
Yes.
And I say 90%. I pull this random number from just
because you're right.
Interactions and reading a lot of stuff that people said. And they're like, oh, I wore my mask. But then you shouldn't have gone to the function if you had it. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Because when you're eating, you're going to take off the mask. So then, like, I don't know. It's disappointing, but not surprising.
Yes.
And then even now, like, people to this day is like, let people wear their mask. Like, you know, and the whole point about it getting politicized as not wearing your mask or you don't tell me what to do. And then
it's a freedom of speech.
But then see, this is what I don't understand.
But then the non-mask wearers were attacking people that wear masks.
Yeah, which I don't understand then. Like,
then this is a funny thing. Okay, it's not funny, but it's funny. Some of the mask wearers are currently weaponizing the mask, meaning that they are using the mask to cover their faces with the intention that they're gonna commit a crime.
Oh yeah. So that's the other spectrum of it.
Stores are requiring for people to, like, when they enter a store, briefly remove the mask, and then once the camera sees your face,
put it back on.
Put it back on.
I didn't know that.
Kind of defeats the purpose because you're already contaminated
by the air. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like the other's biggest letdown too was that we literally, I doubt if we had like anything worse than, okay, so for example, let's say COVID was 6 times the rate in trans mutation, or like a mutation was faster. Well, I don't think we would even be here sitting down right now. I think it'd be mass chaos because the way that it was handled, not talking about the administration, forget the administration, but you know how you have contingencies in the World Health Organization, including the United Nations that were supposed to also be helping, you know, so all of that crap that they feed you and they say, oh, you know, we have all these contingencies in place to help. It's bullcorn, because at the end of the day, if people don't follow it, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many contingencies you have. It's just going to go to crap. And that's why what we learned from the pandemic is if there's a zombie apocalypse, I definitely do not have any incline in trying to survive a zombie apocalypse. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to be like the Last of Us trying so hard to survive. And for what? In a world where people are going to be doing anything and everything. Especially as a woman. That's all I'm saying. So that's what I learned from the pandemic. I learned from the pandemic that the road, if anybody's seen or read the book, it's pretty much exactly going to go that route.
So what you're saying is the pandemic survival skills. That's what you learned.
Yeah, there's going to be no survival like skills. Screw this. I mean, and I'm just saying because it's just, the way people just handled it. Like, you just see it. And it's like, and the thing is, some people, like, what was it? I was getting out of the parking lot. I was getting out of my car and I was going to work. And in the parking lot, you got this guy that comes out. Of course, little Napoleon. He has these big ass truck. He parked literally right next to my little truck. So it's already funny as it is. Mind you, a gas guzzler. He has like a V8. Mine's just a little hybrid. I'm getting out of my car, minding my own business, going to work. I'm already pissed because I'm already going to work. Ain't nobody want to be at work. And tell me why this guy out of nowhere, he's like, stop wearing your fucking masks. Nobody wears those anymore. And I'm not even paying attention. And then I look at him and I'm like, and then I look at his truck and then I'm just like, of course you're going to say that. Like the demographic. And the other thing I learned from the pandemic is the demographic fits to a T.
To a T.
Follow the demographics. You'll see it. But yeah, so honestly, I'm not surprised. These last 3 years have just...
Yeah.
Is everything going back to normal? People are trying to get back to normal, but it's just not the same. Concerts aren't the same. Inflation is extremely high. Basically, there's been mass layoffs everywhere. So I don't care what you say. The economy is not looking good right now.
Yeah.
And basically, if you look at everybody's just like mindlessly going to work.
I think the only thing that has changed, would be your work-life perspective.
Yes. So I think the majority of us can agree that there has to be work-life balance. And by which I mean, I don't want to spend 80 hours going to work. So 40 hours per week, going to work. So that's 4, 8, 12, 16. So 160 hours of a month go straight to work. Like on a regular 8 to 5 or 9 to 6.
Yeah, and that's something that I learned from the pandemic. It's like, you're going to take your time. I'm not going to... I have so much sick time and so much vacation time. And that's part of like collecting from the pandemic. But before that, I wouldn't have taken a vacation or anything like that. But now it's like, you know what? I'm going to take my vacation. I'm going to lower it to the lowest. And then I'm also going to take my sick days, mental health days and stuff like that. So that's a perspective that I wanted to change and that I learned from the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because self-care is very important. Those capitalist pigs are not going to provide you health. They're not going to provide you money or opportunities or anything. You have to set your own merits.
And that's the other thing, is you're easily replaceable.
Exactly.
I don't care how long you've been at a company, they're gonna easily replace you the minute that you become an inconvenience to them. So it doesn't matter like what skills you have or anything. Once they see that you're not gonna do what they want to do, or you're asking for more money and they don't want to pay you, then they're gonna get rid of you. And unfortunately, that has happened to a lot of people I know as well. So as far as like going from the pandemic, what I learned from then and now is just it really does work to jump ship as soon as you can.
As Pelosi said, capitalism, baby.
That's capitalism, baby. Because that's true. You're just another cog in the machine. Once it becomes worn and torn, what are they going to do? They're going to throw you away. It doesn't matter if you're sick or anything, which happened to a lot of people. I mean, unfortunately, we knew a couple that retired and the pandemic hit, and unfortunately, one of them passed away. And, you know, they were looking forward to their retirement. They were at their prime to go and enjoy it. And then this situation happens. And then so what was the whole point of just even staying longer to work? Honestly, I think the change now is that a lot of millennials, well, younger people, but which includes a lot of like Gen X, and then definitely the millennials and the Gen Zers, they're going to go ahead and jump ship the minute that is convenient for them, because they're not going to be working for a company 35 plus years and then retire there, because it's just not realistic anymore. The cost of living is higher than it was before, and the pay is not keeping them up with the rate. So as far as like the pandemic goes, that's what we learned. We learned to value our time. My time is very important. And if it's not working for me, then I'm going to find somewhere else that's going to pay more money. And I'm probably going to be doing either the same or less, and not dealing with as much as you deal with in certain situations. And that's just from a personal perspective. But I've talked to a lot of people and they feel the exact same way. We had a lot of people leave during these past 3 years. And it seems like it continues to be, because regardless of the jobs that are out there, nobody wants to be a server anymore and deal with people's bull crap anymore. Yeah. Like nobody wants to do, especially restaurant work, like servers, waitressing, all that. Nobody wants to deal with people, period. That's what we learned from the pandemic.
And I think, speaking of capitalism, I think one thing that was good in the pandemic is because, came from the pandemic was all of these small businesses, because they were tired of the big corporations. So we got a lot of, especially with the help of TikTok, we got a lot of business owners producing a lot of businesses. So that's something that grew from the pandemic. Because currently, because
a lot of people figured they could make more money doing stuff that they like, or in some cases they may not like it, but they're really good at it and they can make it work faster
for them.
So they became entrepreneurs, and they get to sit their time. They're making good money because they were already because they brought up their company from scratch. They know the ins and outs of that company, so they definitely know like, hey, I can make this much and that's how much I need. I can charge this much, and etc. Whereas when you're working for somebody else, you're not gonna know. You're not privy to the finances of the company, not to the extent that a business owner is. So you don't know like if there's gonna be layoffs or not. So every time there's a quarter or whatever, you have to be, there's no job security. Whereas if you're an entrepreneur, you are your job security.
And I think that's something, and that's why I wanted to also do the follow-up, because that's something that a lot of people, like, their eyes open to capitalism and what's going on in the world. And a lot of people notice that these big corporations are overcharging, or, for example, one thing that I think the entire United States noticed is that for example, the Lay's Corporation chips, those bags
are filled with air. Period.
Nothing
You're
but
paying
air.
For air.
You're literally paying for air.
Pure air.
And that's something that you see videos on TikTok that they keep increasing regarding how much we're getting and how much we're paying for.
Exactly.
So that's something that something grew from that, and hopefully it'll continue, because these companies, they need to stop.
I mean, let me give you an example. My dog, I order her food specifically from like Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
The bag used to be like 32 pounds. And now it comes at 28 pounds. So I'm paying for less than what I used to get. I used to get a 32-pound bag for like $48. That was 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm getting that bag that's 28 pounds. So that's 4 pounds less of food for $65 per bag.
So any little thing that occurs that impacts the growth and the gain for corporations, they automatically increase, which is capitalism.
Yeah, it's fine. But like, to an extent,
mm-hmm.
they're just at this point, it's not even capitalism, it's
mm-hmm.
greed.
It's
like
greed.
They are getting
Corporate
greedy because at this point they know that you're not going to be able to get the proper what do you call it, not the proper, but you're getting a lot less. Mm-hmm. And they know that you're forced to buy what you have available, what they have available,
because you like that certain, or
because
that's the only
all
thing that they're gonna
that's
produce
on the market.
Uh-huh.
That's it. You go to Walmart, you go to Target, you go to Sam's, you go to Costco. It's the same brands mm-hmm. over and over and over. There's no choice. Like for example, if you go to Mexico, you go to the Mercado, mm-hmm. you have a lot of stuff to choose from, and it's fresh. Mm-hmm. They even put like if it's GMO'd or whatnot. If it has excessive sugar, they have to let you know. Here in the United States, they put a bunch of pesticides and preservatives to make it last longer, mm-hmm. and then they'll just remark up that same cereal box that's been sitting in the shelf for like a month, mm-hmm. and then they'll still charge you the exact same price instead of lowering the price.
Mm-hmm. And I think some of this, like the shrinkage and all of that, happened when we saw the impact on Hollywood.
Oh, so the Hollywood take.
So when Kim Kardashian started putting pictures of her flying my private jet.
Oh, no, that was the other one.
Kylie. No, it was both Kim and Kylie. They have their own private jets.
Let me just say something about Hollywood. I don't care about it. Yeah. I really don't. Like at this point.
No, but that's something that I'm trying to point out is that, yeah, so thanks to the influencers, they and Kim Kardashian's family, they opened our eyes. Well, not my eyes, because I already knew Hollywood's
Yvonne has a very
I have a very
anti-Hollywood idolization.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah. So I think we're done with celebrities. I think we're done with some influencers.
I don't even know who are the influencers. Like what was it? Those two guys?
So when I say, so there's actually so not the people that you watch for YouTube, in your categories, like the technology aspect or the news related areas, not those influencers, more of the lifestyle and makeup.
Oh, okay. I know which ones.
Yeah, more closely related to the Hollywood.
So, ladies and gentlemen, just so you can see the difference in viewing, Yvonne sees more lifestyle influencers.
Yes, I really do. They're very entertaining.
But they do a lot of DIY too, right?
Well, see, that's the difference between the lifestyle and the DIY. The DIY is just focused.
So wait, lifestyle is like the ones that go to eat and review restaurants?
Yeah, lifestyle is basically everything in general.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I know what to call. Yeah.
So it's just like Hollywood right now. It's for me personally, I don't care. I don't care anyone. I think as the pandemic occurred, I was like, Hollywood was like not my top priority. Yes, I was upset that some movies were canceled
or pushed back.
But it really didn't impact. I'm not a follower or anything like that, and I don't idolize anyone in Hollywood. And I think a lot of people have my train of thought because I keep seeing videos in TikTok saying, well, this celebrity was nice, this celebrity was not.
Oh, you mean when the waitresses and waiters
or the airport attendants.
Oh, that is true. How they treated them.
Yeah. So right now we're like, we don't. I think people now, they just care about either the film or the TV show, but they're starting to care less about the person itself.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, because I don't even look at... So when a movie comes out, I don't look at the actors anymore. I just look at whether I'm going to like to... Like, if it's something that catches my interest, then yes, I'll watch it. But if it doesn't, then I'm like, I'll catch it whenever. If it's ever on TV or... Well, actually, not even, because I don't even watch TV anymore. I watch everything streaming services.
Yeah.
Like, didn't I tell you?
The pandemic really impacted the movie industry.
Yeah, it's not the same. I've gone to the movies, I think, like 3 times in the past 3 years.
I want to say 3 or 5 times.
3 or 5. Yeah, actually,
I think I can name you. I think
we went to go see Scream 5. Fast and Furious.
Yes.
Jurassic World, the last one.
So there were
Plane.
Oh, Plane! What? You guys, you need to see Plane. If anybody wants to watch it with me as we stream it, or like I want to do something. You can't do that,
Yvonne. That's copyright.
What if that other person has the same streaming service? Then can't we just put emojis?
You know what? I think Instagram has something like that.
They need to do something like that because together. Oh my God, I love that Plane. If you're ever a fan like of a plane crisis movie or something like that, that is a must movie.
Oh my God. Well, anyways, like I was saying,
it's very realistic. That's exactly how I would think that would happen. Okay. I'm sorry. But yes, the impact in Hollywood, I don't think anything has changed. And as a matter of fact, it turns out that right now, currently, what's happening this month is that the Kardashians' popularity is going down. I don't know what's gonna happen. Something about a post regarding Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber, and I don't know. But with that being said, yes, the pandemic definitely impacted Hollywood.
Yeah, so it's not the same going to the movies. It's just not the same
anymore.
And plus, the inflation doesn't help. Popcorn is so expensive.
Inflation.
Then they check your bags now. Like, what is this?
And then the other thing is, like, all of these actors are like, they make a good movie and then bam, a scandal hits. Like the Flash actor.
Oh yeah, so people are apparently saying they're not gonna go see Flash.
Yeah,
but Michael Keaton's gonna be in it.
I know.
You know how everybody loves Michael Keaton's Batman.
I know.
He's like the best one. Aside from Christian Bale's, but yes. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. As far as Hollywood, it's not the same. I don't think I watch movies anymore like I used to. If I do, I rewatch some of the movies that I know I like.
Can I just say that who was the only celebrity that wore a mask during the Oscars? Not that I saw the Oscars TV show, but I read the article.
Who was it?
I don't know. It's either the actress that came out in Jurassic World or
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yes, is her father the creator of Arrested Development?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that was her. She was the only one that was popular and a celebrity status that wore her mask. So my question is, will you be wearing your mask?
Honestly, I still wear it, but part of me used to wear it just because to piss off people, because I know how mad they get. God. And I don't understand why they get mad because I'm wearing a mask. Like,
it's freedom of expression.
No, but to me, it feels like they take it personally because they think I'm calling them stinky, which I am.
Yes.
I don't want to smell people's cigarettes.
You know what? It's the best thing that could happen. Be cautious and wear a mask, because
plus, flu season was right around the corner. Why am I gonna get sick again?
before, like, people would cough and I would be like, oh my God, get away from me. Like, But now it's like, I can wear my mask.
Speaking of which, Yvonne, did you in fact get COVID?
Oh my God. Okay, for those... So the mask is not 100% bulletproof. You could get impacted.
Even if you're 100% mask wearer. So honestly, I think...
Yes, we did. I did get COVID.
Yeah, I got it too. She got it right after me. So I might have been patient zero in the house.
Yeah.
You know what the stupidest thing is, though? That when I got COVID, my boss still expected me to go in. And I was running a fever.
Got a new shirt.
Oh Lord, I to this day
I will continue to wear my mask. I tell my boss, I'm gonna wear my mask,
and so people are okay with it. But
like that's the difference between your boss and my boss. She is really like, okay, yeah, I understand. Like she empathizes with me.
Yeah.
Whereas that text message should have been an HR meeting.
And you know why? Because they wanted me to help them outside. Mind you, it was 40-degree weather. And I'm running 102 fever. Like, to this day, oh my God. Like, some people just lack common sense. I swear to God. Like, they really are no small... And that's the biggest difference between employers and employees. Because they really don't care about you. 100%, you're literally another cog in the machine. It doesn't matter... Exactly. If you're not 100%, as long as you're still there, they'll put you to work. They don't care if you're sick, if you're running an ill, if you got a headache or you can't function properly. They're going to put you to work till you can't work no more. And that's what I was saying. That's what we learned from the pandemic. It's different people. I'm like, and then aside from that, like you said, I'm like, there's different people that were like, oh, okay, you could wear your mask. I'm not going to wear my mask, but you can wear your mask and I don't really care. Yeah. Whereas other people would make snarky little comments. Nobody wears their mask anymore. I
don't care.
I'm like, I'm wearing it because you literally just came back from being out sick for 2 weeks because you had a cold.
And you know what the thing is that I don't know when I traveled. I think it was 2022. I traveled to this conference in our state. But like the whole, like I say, if you're ever to choose, like, okay, if you don't want to wear a mask, then for like functions, like small functions and stuff like that, that's fine. But if you're going to be traveling, I highly recommend that you wear a mask. Because I traveled, I wore my mask the entire conference and the entire flight back.
And I guarantee you there was other people wearing their masks too.
Exactly. There were other people wearing masks and they were still talking friendly and everything.
And that's what I don't understand. I don't understand. If somebody wants to wear the mask, just let them wear their mask. Why do you have to put in your 2 cents about your opinion about the mask?
Exactly.
If they want to look crazy and be the only one wearing the mask, then let them look crazy.
And that's why I say that it's freedom of expression. You're expressing yourself by choosing to wear a mask. That's what I'm saying.
If you want to have a freaking Confederate tattoo, then on your body, I will definitely be looking at you side eye. But it's your body, your choice. You do whatever you want. But that's what I don't understand. That was one thing that really irked me from the pandemic that I learned is that people, specifically a certain type of demographic, will always have the audacity. Always. I guarantee you I can count 5 times that's happened to me, and I have never even said anything to nobody.
It's called privilege.
Exactly. But so yeah.
But yes, in regards to traveling, I will definitely be traveling.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna be traveling.
I'm gonna take my little hand sanitizer. My little mask.
I haven't gone in a proper vacation in a very the last 5 years. So I'm in definitely need of a vacation, and I think this year I'm definitely gonna do that.
Remember, I was telling you before the pre-pandemic, I'm like, we should take a cruise.
Well, we were already planning it, and then the freaking pandemic hit.
And then the freaking pandemic hit. So I'll definitely be traveling. That's something that throughout the pandemic that I learned that if you're cautious and then you do now that we have the vaccine, I feel more comfortable traveling.
Which we need to get boosted, by the way.
Yeah. But yes, I will definitely be traveling. Hopefully it'll boost the economy. I don't think so.
Listen, it doesn't matter, but you know what? I would not be traveling during the summer.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
definitely.
oh my God, it's horrible. Mm-hmm. It's horrible. And then who the heck thinks it's a great idea to travel during the busiest days of the traveling season, which is the holidays, which is Thanksgiving and Christmas?
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like, if you're gonna host Thanksgiving, or if you're gonna travel to a Thanksgiving, like,
go a week ahead.
Yes.
And if you ain't got them that much time, then don't even travel.
Not,
go the week before and then leave before, or go the week after.
Just last winter, people were getting stuck in the airport.
They literally spent the entire holiday break at the airport. Because I think they were stuck for like 2 or 3.
Some people didn't even make it to their destination.
No, they got stuck and then they got rerouted back.
Like, you would see videos in TikTok. Oh, this is what Thanksgiving is about, sharing with strangers.
And then, and that's probably why they want to ban TikTok. But that's a whole nother conversation. But I don't know. I think the thing that we learned the most from the pandemic is just that
take your health seriously. And honestly, by that is if you have to readjust your work life, if you have to readjust your personal life, just make sure that you're taking care of yourself.
Honestly, yeah. I think that's the biggest thing you can do is just be a good advocate for yourself. Take care of your health. And of course, at the same time, is like, yes, you can be empathetic to people, but you can't put people above you.
Yes, exactly. So with that being said, thank you for listening to our podcast. We hope to hear any feedback or anything that we missed in the comments below. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. We're still working on the rebrand. Oh, and one important note is that Karen will indeed add the intro. So
oh my God.
She was supposed to do that last podcast.
So she told me that rushed. As she was an executive producer, that she didn't want the little intro. And then...
No, I said not the intro right now. Put it later in editing.
She said, you see how...
Do I have to micromanage the editing now?
Anyway.
So anyways, with that being said, thank you for listening. And we hope to see you on our next podcast.
And with that, thank you, Vaughn, for co-hosting with me. And we will see y'all in the next one.